Hi everybody, this is a short video to introduce you to Santa Clara's human subjects proposal information. At Santa Clara we call it human subjects, but at other places this is what is known as the Institutional Review Board, or IRB stuff. So if you go to the Santa Clara homepage and you type in human subjects and search, it takes you to some forums and so on. But if you click on the first one, it takes you to the home page for human subjects. As you scroll down a little bit, you'll see that there's information here. There's a 7-minute video released by U.S. Department of Health and Human Services about Institutional Review Board and working with human subjects. You can watch that or not. But there's also the contact information. You can send an email to protocols@scu.edu, or here's their phone number. There's really sort of 3 levels of human subjects review. One of them is the full IRB review. And this is primarily for when you're working with minors or anybody who might not have the ability to understand what's going on fully or to make decisions for themselves. So most of the time that's not an issue. But if you wanted to conduct research with children or minors, then you would do a full IRB review. And you can see the full IRB review committee meets once per quarter, and you need to get your materials submitted by one of these deadlines. And it takes several weeks to get it reviewed and get a decision back. So you need to plan ahead if you are doing that kind of review. I would say most of the research that's done with human subjects at Santa Clara, and particularly for scholarship of teaching and learning research, would be expedited or exempt reviews. These are good for if you're conducting research on the effects of a teaching program or something, and your participants are adults, which in college is generally the case. So expedited and exempt reviews are accepted on an ongoing rolling basis, usually reviewed pretty quickly, and you get a decision back fairly quickly. Now, before you can collect or analyze data that's collected from human subjects, you need to do this city human subjects training. This, I don't want to leave the website. I just want to show you where it goes. This is a fully online system where you learn about the ethics and procedures for treating human subjects ethically, and then you get your certificate and your training. So that's sort of the quick overview. And then there's questions to see if you actually need IRB review. Sometimes if you're collecting data on your own teaching practices and there's no expectation to publish it or present it at a professional conference, you don't even need to apply for IRB review. But if there's a possibility you're going to publish this or present it, then you probably do. So here's a list of questions and answers that you can take a look at to help you decide whether you need to submit, and if so, what kind of process, whether it's full review, expedited, or exempt. To submit and begin an IRB application or human subjects application, you click on this and it would take you, I'll show you where it takes you. It takes you here, and then here is where you would log in over here. So I'm going to go back real quick because there's this note here that says if you've never done this before, you have to actually create an account in the eProtocol system. And you don't do that yourself. You send an email saying you want to open an account, and it gets set up for you. So once you've got an account, you set up a username and password, and then if you log in, you can see that here is where you would create a new protocol. You can delete protocols. As you can see, I've had several of these. Looks like I've got several that are currently running, a couple that are, these are all current. These are all past and expired. So it's not a difficult process. You just have to sort of know where to go to get started. And then just to give you a quick look at what a proposal looks like. I'll show you over here. You see the sections of the proposal that you need to complete. First, you have to say the personnel information, who's the primary researcher, who else is working on it with you, if anybody. So this is where you would add collaborators or student research assistants. Then here is where you would check what kind of subjects you're working with. In this case, I'm working with healthy subjects. And there were minors, so this was a full review protocol. Then you say where the location is. And then in the general checklist, you include any participating collaborators, like other institutions. And here is where you describe what's going to happen in your study. So there's a little checklist first, and if you hit next, it will start to prompt you to add information. You have to include what's the purpose of your study, what do you hope to learn from the study, what are the procedures you're going to use to collect your data, things like that. So this is not a complete overview of the whole process, but it gives you an idea of, you get an account, you do your city training, you decide whether this looks like a full or an expedited review, and then you create a protocol, and it really guides you through the process. It tells you, it asks you all the questions, and then you just fill it in. When you're all done going through all of the steps, you submit it to the IRB, and then you wait, and then you hear back, and your proposal is either approved, or you get notes saying you need to add this information, or you need to add that information. So that is a very quick overview of the human subjects process, our IRB process at Santa Clara University.